Our last quick topic of the Civil War, the end of the war. So it leads us to Appomattox Courthouse. And Appomattox Courthouse happens in April of 1865. The where is a place called Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia. That was the name of the town. I'm going to assume that there was a courthouse there. The background, Richmond had been captured by the Union. Lee was on the run. So for 4 years, the Union attempted to take Richmond. In 1865, they finally get to Richmond. Lee and his army, and he doesn't have much of his army left, manages to escape town, and they go on the run for the next week or so. The main generals were Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee. So Grant would have been the fifth Union general. Lee was the first guy we started talking about with the South, and he will end. This wasn't a battle. This is where Grant finally caught up to Lee and basically said, look, we can fight this out or you can surrender. Lee opts to surrender, which was the correct move at this point. So it's not really a win or a lose, it's a surrender. And you can see here in this painting, we have Grant and his generals, we have Lee and his generals, and he's signing the surrender papers. The importance of this is the Civil War is over. So about 4 years after it started, it is finally ending. To give you perspective on how deadly this war, I compiled this chart. So this shows you, for both the North and the South, the number of deaths in battle, the number of deaths from disease, because that was the number one killer, the number that were wounded. MIAs, missing in actions, weren't really kept track of. So total casualties, the North, 641,000, 358,000 for the South. You might ask yourself, well, the North wins the war. Why did they have not 2 times, but almost 2 times greater? A couple of reasons. One explanation is down here. The North had 50% more people that fought in the war. Also, for the most part, with the exception of Gettysburg and Antietam, for the most part, the South was always defending. We've talked about in war, it's always easier to defend than it is to go in the offensive. In the end, the death rates were virtually the same. Whether you were in the Northern or Southern Army, there was about a 25% chance you were going to die. Just on a side note, the South did not keep as accurate statistics as the North. This gives you a perspective of where the Civil War ranks in all American wars that we've participated, the big ones anyway. So Civil War, both world wars, Vietnam, Korea, Mexican, American Revolutionary War. And you can see when you compare it to World War II, over 200,000 more deaths. Part of the reason for that, a couple of reasons. A, it was a civil war. It was American fighting American. So that's playing a factor. Also, we have new weapons technology. So it was much more deadly than, say, the Revolutionary War. Also, medicine. Had a lesson on medicine, how it hadn't really kicked in, and we don't know about airborne diseases, germ theory, the amputations and lack of antibiotics and things like that. Finally, this is showing you how they died, and you can see disease is number one. This is showing you amputations and whatnot, and what the most common ones were.